Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on AIRLINE.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
I guess, Marty, hello and welcome. Welcome to another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely wonderful one. If not, as we are fond of saying each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one rolls our way, and you will have the opportunity to try it all over again. If you are in that number, to borrow a phrase from our friends in the Big Easy, you will be glad to know that it has been announced that all 64 parishes this week will have COVID-19 vaccines available. 501 vaccine providers in all 64 parishes. It is something that the state will be the beneficiary of, but in limited doses. I think we've all pretty much become accustomed to that by now. It is something that the Biden administration had promised in the first 100 days. There would be 100 million vaccines distributed. That number now is starting to be walked back. But here in Louisiana, the numbers for the providers include 168 chain pharmacies across the state, 138 independent pharmacies across Louisiana, 47 hospitals across our state, 45 public health providers across the state of Louisiana, 24 urgent care facilities in our state, 23 federally qualified health centers, 18 community centers, 16 medical practices, 12 rural health clinics, and 10 other healthcare providers representing all 9 health regions and the 64 parishes in our state. Obviously, there are any number of resources on the internet that you can go to find out the nearest provider near you, what the status of the number of vaccines available, and of course, information on how you can schedule your vaccine if in fact you are so inclined to do so. It is good news for those that are awaiting this news, and hopefully those that it applies to, you will govern yourselves accordingly. Meanwhile, here in the capital city recently, another sign that we may be approaching some degree of normalcy as the coronavirus vaccines now are being more widely distributed and accepted across the country. Officials met here in Baton Rouge. The Louisiana Association of Fairs and Festivals hosted their convention Friday night at the Crown Plaza Hotel here in Baton Rouge to address concerns of fair and festival organizers. As you well know, Louisiana, our beloved state, is one of those that probably has more fairs and festivals than any state, certainly our size, and more fairs and festival than many states that are considerably larger than ours. It is a part of our laissez-aller, bon temps roulé way of life here. We will throw a party at the drop of a hat. We don't need an excuse many times for a fair, a festival, or to simply just, quote, pass a good time. Melissa DeTolo, the president of the Louisiana Association of Fairs and Festivals, says that the events, as you well know, are extremely important to the various communities that host them, not only from a revenue generating standpoint, but also to benefit nonprofits, youth organizations, and the like. Quote, "We've had to change everything from health procedures, how we open. Now, some of the fairs aren't sure that they can open. We have to hold back on signing contracts, so it's hard to plan without knowing we'll be able to open. But recent progress with the distribution of the vaccines and the lowering of cases has led those individuals now to say that they're confident that those challenges that were presented by COVID-19 will not be a concern much longer. Quote, knowing that so many people are getting vaccinated, plus so many people have had COVID and recovered, that's going to increase the number of people who won't get infected. And I believe those numbers are going to continue to trend down, and I hope and pray they do, because you can see that in this room. These people are ready to get back to partying, celebrating, and highlighting their fairs and festivals, their culture, and their life for city all over Louisiana. That quote is attributed to Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. We are all hopeful that we will be able, in the very near future, to return to a way of life that, quite frankly, probably 90% of us had taken for granted here in South Louisiana. Most of us have our own little personal preferences. I mean, there are people that have gone to the Strawberry Festival for decades, the Frog Festival in the great city of Rain, Louisiana, forever, Mardi Gras in Lafayette, New Orleans, New Roads for generations. And quite frankly, the thought never crossed our minds that a time could come when we wouldn't be able to do these things. And as a result, many of us maybe with the exception of the actual fair and festival organizers and the Mardi Gras crews, many of us never really gave more than a passing thought to the financial implications, ramifications, if you will, of not having these activities. It's one thing for the economy to take that hit when you're talking about lockdowns, but it's something else entirely when you are talking about things like Mardi Gras crews, fairs and festivals, and all the various nonprofit organizations that benefit from activities of this sort. Let's all hope that sometime in the very near future, we will be able to return to that way of life. And while we're thinking about it, as you start looking down the road in that regard, with so many of our fellow Louisianians having been negatively impacted by the lockdowns from a financial standpoint, nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. You and I do this as a way of life. We've become accustomed to it. But start planning now, if you will, when the all clear is given for us to return to our favorite fairs, festivals, and the like. Make it a point to invite folks from out of town, people from outside the state of Louisiana. Many people are of the opinion that the financial hit that our state took with the loss of Mardi Gras, all the fairs and festivals and the like, that's money we can never recover. Well, I'm one of those that begs to differ. The state of Louisiana is so known for tourism. We are so known for hosting events where people come from outside the borders of our state to take part in, celebrate with us, and of course, spend that disposable income, that if we become the ambassadors that we should be for our state, there is a distinct possibility that we can make up a lot of that money. I mean, I can't begin to imagine what Mardi Gras is going to be like next year. There will be this pent-up demand for folks to get out and enjoy what has become a way of life up until COVID-19 reared its ugly head. I mean, we used to say, okay, Canal Street, New Orleans, French Quarter, there's going to be 1 million people. That's gotten to kind of be the magic number. I could easily see next Mardi Gras, oh God, 1.5, 2 million people easily. Because again, there's that pent-up demand where folks are just desperately seeking some normalcy. And of course, there will be those that will say, you know what, I've never been to a Mardi Gras. And based on the fact that it was canceled last year, if it's on this time, I'm going. And of course, it's one thing for Lieutenant Governor Nungesser and all the folks at Baton Rouge Convention and Visitors Bureau, their counterparts in New Orleans, Lafayette, et cetera, et cetera. It's one thing for them to do what they do. But when you and I, just regular old Louisiana folk, get on the phone, call our relatives in Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, wherever, New York City, that's Marty's people, tell them, look, come on down, man. We didn't have it last year. It's going to be a blast this time around. If ever there was one you wanted to make, it's going to be next year. Get on the phone, get on the horn, call those folks up, and let's see if we can't help our fellow Louisianians out that were so adversely affected. Got to get our first break of today's show out of the way. It is Monday, so you know what that means. That's right. As soon as we get this commercial break out of the way, we got some doozies for you on our next edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's up next on the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. It is, of course, Monday, and if you are new to the show, the station, the area, we, in response to the growing trend in America, where every single day that passes, you think you see something that we just couldn't do anything more stupid than this. Well, if you are blessed to wake up the next morning, there you go. But now, we're not talking STUPID. That's this level, stupid. We are talking way up here. STOOPID. That is an entirely different level of stupid. We start today with a generational toy manufactured by the toy company Hasbro. For generations now, kids have enjoyed playing with Mr. Potato Head. Of course, now, for us boomers, we started out with Mr. Potato Head, and then later on, Hasbro figured out, well, the Bible says that it's not good for man to be alone. And when man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So they came up with Mrs. Potato Head. And, of course, the natural progression there was little potatoes, little spuds, okay? Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head got together and they had some little spuds So they now have the potato head family. Well, in today's gender fluid society, I mean, after all, you know, we are trying to get rid of biology, you know. That is what that is. Speaking of stupid, but that's a different stupid. Hasbro announced last week that they were doing away with the Mr. No longer male, just potato head. And of course, the backlash was swift and severe. Hasbro, for its part, in announcing this, said, quote, Mr. Potato Head, while they didn't say it was an effort to make it gender neutral, everybody understood what Hasbro was doing. Hasbro said that they were making the move, quote, to promote gender equality and inclusion. And then, to drive home the point, they released a video where there's Mr. Potato Head and the caption, Mr. Potato Head. And in the video, the words Mr. blow up, just explode, disappear, and all that's left is Potato Head. Well, social media and the rest of America didn't take too kindly to all of this. So, as you might imagine, Hasbro has now changed their mind. Initially, their statement read, quote, Hasbro is making sure all feel welcome in the potato head world by officially dropping the Mr. from the Mr. Potato Head brand and logo to promote gender equality and inclusion. In the fall, the new Potato Family Pack, Create Your Potato Family, will celebrate the many faces of families, allowing kids to imagine and create their own potato head family. Yeah. So right after all of this, all the public outcry and backlash, Hasbro had to turn around and issue this tweet. Hold that tot. Your main spud, Mr. all caps, Potato Head, isn't going anywhere. While it was announced today that the Potato Head brand name and logo are dropping the Mr., we are proud to confirm that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere and will remain Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. If I didn't know any better, I'd think it's actually Mr. Potato Head or a potato head that's running the show at Hasbro. All these years. But now, because all of a sudden, we've got these freaking yahoos out here, the ones that slept through basic biology class and don't realize there's this thing called chromosomes. Now that's flat out stupid. Of course, they got the message, and it just goes to show you what happens when the public decides, you know what, enough of this crap. Enough's enough. And when you unite your voices together, it just goes to show you what happens when you pool your resources and your influence. Secondly, and this one, I guess, in this age of COVID-19 and Zoom and the digital age and everything else, I guess it's to be expected that this happened. I mean, now that being said, please understand me. I would not want to be the one. I would be seriously upset if I were the one that this happened to. Sacramento, California. Again, the granola state. Take out the fruits and the nuts, and all you got left are the flakes. The Medical Board of California is investigating a plastic surgeon. Why? Dr. Scott Green got a traffic ticket. And as is the case in Sacramento, California, because of the lockdowns, traffic court is now held virtually. You Zoom your appearance for traffic court. Enter your plea for the charges against you. The judge will issue a ruling. You are either exonerated or you're convicted, and you pay the fine. You go on your merry way. Well, the problem was for Dr. Scott Green. He's on the Zoom call with the judge, and the judge happens to notice that Dr. Green is in his surgical scrubs, has on his surgical mask, and he's operating on a patient. You can hear the heart monitor, you can hear the medical machinery beeping and the whole like. And Dr. Green is going on like there's nothing wrong. Quote, "Hello, Mr. Green? Hi, are you available for trial?" asked the clerk in the courtroom. "It kind of looks like you're in an operating room right now." Dr. Green replied, "I am, sir. Yes, I'm in an operating room right now, but I'm available for trial. Go right ahead." The clerk, you can't make this stuff up, but it's California. The clerk reminded the doctor that these proceedings were being live streamed, and the doctor said, "Well, I understand. Yeah, that's why I'm here." Still got his head down, still operating. And the folks in the court are incredulous at this point. In walks Court Commissioner Gary Link, the equivalent of the judge. He walks in, looks at the screen, and sees that the doctor is in the process of operating on a patient, and then becomes concerned. But the doctor says, "That's okay, I've got another surgeon right here who's doing the surgery with me. So I can stand here and allow them to do the surgery also." As you might imagine, the judge was not particularly fond of the idea. I mean, I understand it's a plastic surgery, it's a plastic surgeon, and I don't know the nature of what he was trying to correct, but you're under anesthesia. You can hear the anesthetist and his equipment doing their thing. And dude is taking care of his traffic fine trial in the midst of surgery. Sounds like Marty's doctor. Can you imagine? This guy is a surgeon and thinks there's nothing wrong with contesting his traffic ticket while performing surgery. Then again, It is California, the granola state. Take out the fruits and the flakes, and all you got left are the nuts. Now that's just stupid. Bottom of the hour break. Let me get this one out of the way. When we come back, hopefully we will spend some time spreading some good news for folks that drive in the capital region. Great news. Last week, finally, after decades, we get approval from the federal government to widen the interstate in one of the most problematic areas in all of the entire Gulf South, if not the entire length and breadth of the United States of America. Hopefully, he will be able to get away for just a few minutes in the midst of a pretty big meeting today. Hopefully, Dr. Shawn Wilson will spend a little time and we'll talk about this long awaited improvement for traffic in the capital region. Bottom of the hour break. Let me get this done and we will come back and talk more with you right where you've got it on the Monday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
On January 26, 2021, respectively, Pelican Broadcasting Network, LLC, licensee of KPBN-LD, Channel 14, RF Channel 14.2, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, filed an application with the Federal Communications Commission for renewal of its broadcast license. Members of the public wishing to view this application or obtain information about how to file comments and petitions on the application can visit www.fcc.gov/station search and search in the list of KPBN-LD's filed applications. Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buck Show. Back out here. Thank you, Marty. There was some very, very welcomed news announced last week when we found out, woohoo, hallelujah, from the motoring public, thank you, Jesus, that the federal government has approved the widening of I-10. It is something that, and I will leave to you to decide whether it is an inherent design flaw, if it was a mistake or whatever. I'll leave that to you to decide. But the guy that has been working literally his tail off to try and rectify this decades-old problem, I know has got to be the happiest man on the planet. Well, maybe when all is said and done and it's finished, maybe then he will be the happiest guy on the planet. Well, maybe after we finally get the funding for the bypass and or the new bridge, he'll be the happiest man on the planet. We welcome into the show D.O.T.D. Secretary Dr. Shawn Wilson. Dr. Wilson, how are you, my friend?
The happiest man is happy to be with you. Thank you for having me, Clarence.
We have needed this widening of I-10 for a very long time, but the process has never gotten this far. What led to the breakthrough? Anything in particular, Dr. Wilson?
Well, I think a couple of things. Previous efforts to try and do this succumbed to political pressures to not move it, because folks had hopes and dreams that things would perhaps get better. But over time, reality shows us that it's only going to get worse unless we do something different.
Right.
I think another factor that really made a big difference is we not only talked about doing this, but we put action into words, first with the Washington Terrace Street off-ramp, but more importantly, with finding a funding mechanism to get this done when there was none before. Oftentimes we talked about infrastructure without a real sensitive and financial feasible way to deliver it, and we have that now. And so we presented it. We spent a lot of time, as you said. I spent a lot of my personal time in people's neighborhoods, living rooms, business tables, talking about what this could be. And then the last thing I think I'll tell you is, as we have improved in industry, the design practices, the materials, the technologies, all of those things that are used in this process evolved over time. And so it's a combination of efforts, I think, that resulted in us getting to this point and having a green light and having the leadership and wisdom and courage to push through with something that is, I think, going to be even more transformative than it was when it was first built over 50 years ago. And the idea that we're getting started is an indication that we can actually finish it, and that it's not going to get better by not doing anything. It's only going to get worse. And I think we're making the right move in the right direction.
The widening of these portions of I-10 between LA 415 and the 1012 split past College Drive, how difficult of a construction project logistically are we talking about here, Dr. Wilson?
Well, put in perspective that 100,000 cars a day travel through this corridor.
Wow.
And imagine having to build and rebuild, remove, replace, all at the same time. So it is going to be a magnificently complex project. It's going to be something that, I will be very transparent, is not going to be easy for the traveling public or those that live in the community, but we're going to do everything we can to minimize those impacts and do everything we can to accelerate the delivery and manage those expectations through that process. I think this is going to be a signature project, not just for us, but for building urban infrastructure across the country. And to put it in perspective, the thousands of miles of interstate that have been built that are reaching their ultimate useful life, we're either going to be forced to replace it under duress, or we're going to be intentional and strategic like in this process. And I think this is the way to go going forward for urban infrastructure. We can't build it and just forget about it. And When you just travel that corridor now, you look at it and you say, it's not what I want this to be, and this isn't representative of who we are, but we have an ability to go forth and do that, and that takes a little bit of sacrifice, but we're going to make it a signature project that it really and truly is.
From a layperson's point of view, typically when we look at an undertaking of this magnitude, we're always of the opinion, or at least have the expectation, that it's going to be done in phases. Is that going to be the method of operation for this particular project as well?
You're absolutely correct. So we are going to build this in phases. The first phase will take place really from the Washington Street area all the way to and possibly through the lake's footprint. That will allow us over a period of time to do two things. One, advance a critical segment, but two, manage the finances of the overall project so that we can deliver the remaining segments of the work that need to be done. So we're very excited about that, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get there, but we have a path forward to finish what we actually start, and that's the value of what we're going to do. The other thing that's important, Clarence, is we've got the design team that's going to be responsible for this entire corridor from the beginning to the end. And we've got the construction team that's been identified that's going to build this project, all of the components on the east bank of the river. So there's going to be some continuity in performance as well as the delivery and the design that will satisfy, I think, the public, unlike what you've seen on other corridors where things change over time.
When the news was announced, I read on a couple of message boards individuals responding to this, and I guess over time many of us have become jaded as Louisianians, but I couldn't help but notice there were a number of individuals that were of the opinion that it's actually more of a psychological Band-Aid than anything else, because without a widening of the bridge, you're still going to incur a bottleneck that is going to ultimately end up slowing traffic, and if we're not careful, will only exacerbate an existing problem. What do you say to the individuals that are of that mindset, Dr. Wilson?
Well, what I'll say to them is that the folks that are working on this, both the private and the public sector, are experienced and knowledgeable about these things, perhaps much more with a level of detail and granularity than the average driver. I will also say that the psychology of what we build, or the perception of what we build, has a functionality to it. And we can look at projects like roundabouts where folks say it wasn't supposed to work, or R cuts, it wasn't supposed to work, or even road diets where we can actually move people through much more efficiently and much more safely. Those are things that are contrary to conventional wisdom in many respects when you study and look at the details. Those are things that we factored in, and let's face it, we've got the number 18 bottleneck out of the top 100 bottlenecks in the country in this corridor. And everything we do may not be perfect, but this intervention, this solution, is something that we know is a part of a comprehensive solution. And so that speaks to the need for an additional bridge. It speaks to the need for additional connector routes and other traffic moving solutions. And I think it's one of these issues that when you go to the doctor for heart surgery, you're going to get a heart surgeon who's done it before, who's experienced and trained in that, not just someone who's going to agree with you or advise you of what this is. So I just ask them to allow the process to continue, to trust the experts, and that we studied this. And in fact, we studied it in different aspects of it for many, many years. And these are the solutions that we come to, and we're not running from those solutions that are there.
Obviously, long-term solutions to the traffic nightmare in the capital region is going to have to include another bridge and or a bypass in the Baton Rouge area. How much pressure, quite frankly, are you and the good folks at D.O.T.D. feeling to make this particular project be a smashing success to hopefully knock down some of the barriers and resistance to a new bridge and or bypass to ultimately get us to where we need to be?
Well, there's tremendous pressure to deliver multiple projects, not just in this region, across the state, and that comes with the territory of being secretary. Clearly, we understand that the solution to the traffic problem in Baton Rouge alone is not just the bridge. It's not just the new bridge. It has a combination of solutions, and we have to deliver them not just for the short term, but also for the long term, because we're looking at traffic 30 years and beyond.
Right.
What we're dealing with in terms of doing this project will offer benefits in terms of segments of independent utility that will be delivered after the project is initially constructed in phases. At the same time, we are working diligently to advance the new bridge solution and the bypass solution, the AIRLINE improvements, you name it. It's all part of a coordinated effort. And if we think that there's any one project that's going to be our solution, we're gravely mistaken, because we all are dependent upon each other and every other project, because the system of transportation is only as strong as its weakest link. And we have to acknowledge that we have to work together and that this is a seamless process in terms of what we deliver to the public. And I think this will be one of those. So we are under pressure, but we're also delivering it as resourcefully as we can.
Well, congratulations, my friend. Perseverance does, in fact, end up rewarding those who had the longevity to exercise it, and God knows you have been persevering through a lot. Hopefully, it will reward you accordingly, and as a result of that, hopefully, we will have our faith fully restored from the citizenry angle in the state, and we will give you the necessary resources that you need to get us where we need to go. God knows we certainly deserve it, Dr. Wilson.
Well, look, I appreciate that, and I tell people, if these things were easy, they would have been done already.
Good point.
And this administration have not shied away from delivering big, comprehensive, and complex projects. Look at Loyola, look at Bell Chase, look at I-10, look at Highland. Pretty soon, we're going to say, look at that I-10 connector between 415 and the 1012 split. And it just takes a committed plan to deliver over the long haul. And clearly, this project will go beyond my lifespan as secretary. And I would hope that the citizens are passionate about finishing what we started and following the roadmap that we lay behind for them, because if not, we can only expect what we've always gotten when we've changed plans midstream. It got us to a destination that we didn't expect to get. And that's not what we deserve, and it's not what the citizens deserve. And with your help and the help of the citizens, we're going to make it happen.
So if I understand you correctly just now, you don't plan to be secretary 30 years from now?
Well, as much as you and I might think that's a good idea, there is life after being secretary. And I would tell you, Clarence, this has been the best job of my life, and I would believe my lifetime to come. And I'm looking forward to finishing it up as strongly as we started in the first couple of years. I have no plans of leaving anytime soon, but that's between the governor and his conscience whether or not he keeps me here. But I've enjoyed this, and I've enjoyed working with you, working for citizens, because this is, and I told you this a long time ago, public service for me is a ministry, and I take it that seriously. And I will continue to do that until the day I walk out of that building at 1201 Capitol Access Road and all of a sudden become former Secretary Wilson.
Well, God bless you, my friend. Stay safe, and we will talk again in the near future.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Clarence.
You're quite welcome, sir. He is truly a blessing in his job, and that's great news. And yeah, in an ideal world, we could wave the magic wand and poof, there's a new bridge, there's a bypass, I-10 is widened, all of our problems are solved. But the world isn't ideal, and it just doesn't work that way. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow around this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It is something that no matter how many times you encounter it, it never becomes any easier. For those of us who understand and appreciate the fact that in any civilized society, any society that is governed by laws and regulations, someone has to be in charge of enforcing those laws. Typically, it is an individual that has more, for lack of a better phrase, intestinal fortitude than the average citizen that steps up and volunteers to do that job. Law enforcement in this country, and in our state for that matter, has come under increasing criticism day by day, week by week, month by month. And yet, the overwhelming majority of them still get up every day, strap it on, underpaid, underappreciated, castigated, demonized, and they still go out honoring the oath to protect and serve. It never gets any easier for those of us that truly understand the magnitude of what these brave men and women do on a daily basis. And when we lose them senselessly in the line of duty, it's a wound that never truly completely heals. Our sincerest, heartfelt condolences go out today to the family of 38-year-old Martinez Mitchum. Martinez Mitchum, by all accounts, was a young man that had dedicated his life to serving and protecting. A reserve city court constable, a member of the Tulane University Police Department, and a guy that by all accounts truly cared about people. A number of individuals, Martinez regularly worked extra duty at high school games, and as a result became familiar with a lot of the young men and girls, for that matter, that played on New Orleans area basketball teams and probably football teams as well. But aside from providing security, he went a step further, cared about these young people, checked up on them, even after graduating, kept up with them to find out how their careers were going, how things were going in their lives, and was truly just a genuine person. So for him, providing security for the Carver-Warren Easton high school playoff game was just something that he did. It was a part of who he was. And to have his life taken by 35-year-old John Shallahorn over something as crazy as not wearing a mask, where signs are plainly posted, we're conducting temperature checks, got to have a mask or you can't gain entrance. To murder this man because of that makes it even harder to live with. Just another sign of the times in which we live. Godspeed, Martinez Mitchum, and may God grant peace to your family in their time of mourning. My time's up, and I gotta go. But this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You're right, America, we're not perfect, but for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.